Alrighty, today I'm reviewing James Nestor's Breathe. This is a very interesting book. It's about breathing. And I know at first it may sound weird because everybody knows how to breathe. And that's exactly what he says, is like, why are you reading a book on breathing? Or why would you think you'd want to read a book on breathing? Because breathing is something very simple and it's something we all do. And it turns out most of us are actually doing it wrong. And it's not simple. Surface level it's simple, but breathing is very complex, and the effects it has on the body when it comes to different breathing techniques and all that stuff, it's just a very complex subject, and it can do a whole lot of things to your body. I learned so much reading this book, and it's super important to educate yourself on how to breathe properly, and use breathing practices and techniques, because there's so many ways you can improve your life. And James Nestor makes that apparently clear. He goes in depth about all the different breathing techniques. So the book's basically divided into two different parts. You have the first part, which just teaches you how to breathe normally and talks about the history of breathing and how most people are breathing wrong and what the effects that has on your body. He does an experiment where he plugs his nose up for 10 days and he only breathes through his mouth. And then he takes out the nose plugs and only breathes through his nose, and it shows the differences. Breathing through your nose the conclusion basically is that breathing through your nose is vastly superior. It's the way we're supposed to be breathing. But I highly recommend you read the book to understand why. So that's the first part, and the second part goes into like all the complicated breathing techniques. And some of these breathing techniques do crazy things, like take you on psychedelic journeys. You can heat your own body up. You can activate the parasympathetic nervous system to, regulate your immune system and affect your metabolism and your digestion systems and all sorts of stuff. It's very interesting. Do not take breathing as something that isn't important, because it's very important. It's very important to the longevity of your life, to your everyday health. It can help you with chronic issues like asthma and nasal infections. If you have nasal problems and stuff, if you can force yourself to breathe through your nose, you can actually improve those problems. It's just one of the main takeaways is that breathing is something you can do for free on your own whenever you want. And I think that's the most important thing, is this book's not trying to sell you something. You don't have to spend any money. You don't have to go out of your way to get some piece of equipment. Reading James Nestor's Breath, it's everything you learn in the book you can immediately apply to your life while you're reading it, even, because obviously you can breathe of your own free will anytime you want, whenever you want. You're always breathing. So the information in this book is very applicable to real life, to your current life right now. There's no need to wait. There's no need to contemplate. You can just practice what you learn immediately. And I think that's one of the greatest things about this book. And it just teaches you a little bit about, how your body works, how your body absorbs oxygen, how your body, what it does with that oxygen, and the most efficient way to do is just how to help that process. I enjoyed this book a lot, and he's very good at, he tells stories, and he connects the stories with, whatever information he's trying to convey. I really enjoyed this book. I highly recommend it to everyone. I would highly recommend it to people with chronic, breathing issues. Not like super severe, but like mild chronic stuff that people deal with. And athletes. I'm a runner. I run a lot. And this book has convinced me to start breathing through my nose when I run instead of breathing through my mouth. And it's been very difficult. But day by day, I'm slowly, pretty much cutting out all mouth breathing except when you're talking. And just breathing through my nose. One of the coolest things, I never suffered from sleep apnea or snoring, but apparently that's something that a lot of people suffer with and go through every night, and that's not normal. Apparently, according to James Nestor, you're not supposed to breathe, or you're not supposed to snore, and you're not supposed to have sleep apnea. We kind of take that for granted, like something that's just normal happens, but it's not supposed to happen. If you close your mouth at night usually there's like this tape you can buy to put over your mouth and only breathe through your nose, you can reduce pretty much all the snoring, all the sleep apnea, and improve your quality of sleep a lot, which is super important because sleep is one of the most important aspects of your life and your health. So just another cool thing I learned from this book. There's so much to learn. There's so much information to be gained and so much, even a little bit of wisdom too. I mean, I would just highly recommend this to everybody because we breathe all the time, every day. And you think if you do something 24/7, 365, you want to be good at it. And this book really helps you, in that journey at becoming good at breathing. It takes some time, it takes some effort, but you can do it. You can do it for free. The only thing it costs is, your willpower, your discipline. But yeah, highly recommend the book. It's very well written. I had zero complaints about it. I'm going to be hopefully a stronger and healthier human being now, a wiser human being after having read it. But yeah, if you're on the fence about whether you want to get it or not, I hope this review was able to help you and encourage you to purchase this book and learn everything I learned for yourself.